Welcome back. This is part 2 of our discussion on diabetes prevention, where we'll dive into all the specifics on lifestyle changes, modifications for diabetes prevention, treatment, and possibly even reversal. Type 2 diabetes is a serious health condition, but there is good news. It is preventable, treatable, and in many cases reversible through lifestyle modification. So best practice for prevention and treatment is an intensive lifestyle intervention program involving weight loss. Remember from our earlier conversation, 90% of individuals with type 2 diabetes are also overweight or obese. So weight loss of up to 5 to 10% of body weight to start getting you closer to those clinical recommendations within body mass index. Improvements to diet and eating habits and regular physical activity are all parts of this lifestyle modification for diabetes prevention. Many people who are at significant risk for type 2 diabetes or who are already pre-diabetic or even diabetic already can significantly lower blood sugar levels by following this type of lifestyle plan intervention. In fact, a study in the British Medical Journal showed remission rates, that's reversal of diabetes, of 50 to 75% with various populations following intensive lifestyle modification for type 2 diabetes treatment. So we will dive into all the specifics here with the following slides. So we know that weight management is one of the biggest contributing factors to type 2 development of type 2 diabetes. So one of the most impactful things we can do if we're overweight or obese is work towards weight loss. The first recommendation is reduction of at least 5 to 10% of body weight. And in order to lose weight, there will need to be some effort toward achieving a daily calorie or energy deficit. That is some combination of taking in fewer calories and or burning more calories. And in doing so, hopefully we can avoid those crash diets and instead choose manageable long-term lifestyle changes. The graphic on the right there provides kind of a visual representation of either weight gain or weight loss, depending on calories in versus calories out. So on the left side of that graphic, you'll see a situation where we would likely gain weight. That is, we're taking in too many calories, too much energy, and not burning off enough calories through all of our movement, through all of our exercise. On the right side of that graphic, you're seeing a likely scenario of weight loss, where you're physically burning off more calories than you're taking in, than you're consuming. So over time, that will lead to weight loss. So it's recommended to hit a calorie deficit of at least 500 per day to bring on slow, meaningful weight loss. And we'll take a look closer at that in the next few slides. So the best weight loss programs involve some aspect of accountability and tracking. So you have a measuring stick for your success in your program. From the very basic perspective, at least knowing your calorie or energy needs for weight maintenance and for weight loss is a great place to start. There are many resources available online that can help you determine your energy needs, calorie needs for weight maintenance and for weight loss. One I've used over the years is called freedieting.com. You'll also see other apps and websites such as MyFitnessPal or Lose It. You may even have one already installed on your smartphone, such as Apple Health or Google Fit. These tracking tools can help you kind of pin down what energy needs I have to maintain my weight and where should I be from a calorie intake to lose weight, also taking into account how much I'm exercising as well. You can certainly lose weight without use of these tracking or accountability tools, but certainly a more measured approach, a more well thought out, detailed approach can help set the stage for success. So weight loss really is about 80% diet related, what we put on our plate and how much we put on our plate. When you think about it, we can exercise for an hour doing cardio, doing strength training, and maybe we burn 500 or 600 calories. If you look at the typical fast food meal, McDonald's, Taco Bell, whatever that might be, a typical fast food meal might consist of 1,000 to 1,500 calories. So again, if we eat a meal like that after working out, we've pretty much negated all of our efforts in the gym. So a focus on diet first and nutrition and eating habits first is definitely going to set you up for success. One of the most impactful things that we can do to address diabetes prevention from a nutrition standpoint and to help bring about weight loss is to really look to reduce and or eliminate the highly processed foods in the diet. So when we think of processed foods, the processing strips any nutrients out of those foods. We typically, in that processing, add salt, sugar, fat, all kinds of preservatives to make that food item more shelf stable and more palatable and taste better. And in doing so, we create food items that are incredibly energy dense, so a lot of calories in a small amount of food, and food items that are not nutrient dense, so very poor nutrient quality in those processed foods. And when I say processed foods, you probably already have an idea of what I'm referring to, but certainly any snack food out of the market, any crunchy snack food that's coming out of a bag, any sweet foods, whether that's cake, cookies, baked goods, prepackaged meals, frozen pizzas. These are the types of foods that, again, we should really be looking to cut back on significantly or eliminate entirely. And as we're reducing those highly processed foods, we should be adding back in those fiber-rich whole plant foods, simple vegetables, fruits, legumes or beans, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. These foods are naturally lower in calories and very nutrient dense. We should aim to include lean sources of protein, especially things like chicken, fish, or vegetable proteins like legumes, nuts, soy products. The foods from the animal side of the equation, we should probably be limiting, again, your red meats, your processed meats like bacon and sausage, cold cuts. Again, these foods are much, much higher in those saturated fats that we should be limiting to reduce our risk for diabetes, as well as limiting calorie intake. So again, try to get in those lean sources of protein. We should definitely keep an eye also on all sources of sugar in the diet, many of which are coming from those ultra-processed foods, but certainly in beverages as well. Sugar-sweetened beverages, any of your coffee drinks, those types of things come with a lot of calories. So making sure that we're keeping track and being accountable there as well. And finally, explore what works best for you regarding meal and snack timing, whether you're a 5 to 7 small meal and snack a day type of a person, or 3 squares, or would prefer doing something like intermittent fasting. Figure out what works best for you and stick with it. So let's talk about some mindful eating and portion control tips. So we should know exactly why we're eating. Are we eating out of legitimate physiological hunger, or are we eating for some other reason? Maybe we're stressed. Maybe we're eating out of comfort. So recognizing that, being more mindful in that moment can help us choose a different path if we're eating out of stress or comfort. Take your time, eat slowly, put down your fork or spoon in between bites, chew your food slowly and thoroughly, enjoy your food. This will help you give your body time to recognize that you're full. Use the hunger scale. This will help you gauge when you should eat and when you should stop eating. So we never want to eat when we're just starving or ravenous. That way we're going to eat more quickly. We're probably going to eat more food. We should start eating around 4. So that's when we're just getting hungry. That way we can better control our intake. And we should stop eating when we're comfortably full, not when we're stuffed. Don't eat when you're distracted. So don't eat in front of a TV or while you're working. Sit at a table, make that meal or snack the focus for that moment. You should portion out your servings and do your best to stick to that. Don't eat straight out of the packaging. Again, that can lead to that mindless eating. Other simple tips and strategies: plan your meals and snacks in advance. Know what you're eating and when you're eating it. You might use smaller dinnerware, a 9-inch plate instead of a 12-inch plate. Start a meal with a big glass of water. That way some of your stomach contents is full. And fill up on fiber first. Again, those healthy whole plant foods. It's a great way to start a meal with a salad, for instance. So let's talk about exercise and how it fits into this picture of diabetes prevention. So the American Heart Association recommends to get at least 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity aerobic activity, or 75 minutes per week of vigorous aerobic activity, or some combination of those two, preferably spread out through the week. We should look to add some basic resistance or strength training 2 days a week, and as well do flexibility exercises at least 2 days a week. All of the research also shows that we gain even more benefits by being active for upwards of at least 300 minutes per week. That's 5 hours total per week. So these are the basic recommendations, and we should certainly strive to hit that 150 minutes per week to get the most benefit in terms of diabetes prevention. But I do want to stress, any amount of exercise is better than nothing at all. So if you're currently not exercising at all, please don't let these recommendations discourage you. Start somewhere, even with the smallest commitment, and begin to work your way up from there. There's no doubt that structured exercise such as cardio or strength training is very important for our overall health and prevention of chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes. However, just leading an overall active lifestyle is very important as well. And all of the research will show that all of the movement that we can get throughout our day goes a long way to making sure that we're healthy, even if we're not striving to be active in the gym. So prioritize daily movement within an active lifestyle. Strive to spend less time sitting. Make it a goal to get up and move about your space at least every hour, especially if you work a more sedentary job. Go for a walk. Go for a walk multiple times a day, even a few minutes at a time. Set a basic daily step goal. Choose active hobbies or active leisure time. That might be playing golf or playing tennis or a sport or getting to the park with your kids. And as well, even smaller increments of structured exercise, even 5 to 10 minutes at a time, possibly a few times a day, can help add up to that total of 150 minutes per week. In summary, let's put it all together to prevent type 2 diabetes. Recognize your risks. Are you overweight or obese? Is there a family history of diabetes? I would recommend taking the pre-diabetes quiz from the Centers for Disease Control. Talk to your doctor about your risks. Potentially get tested. A simple fasting finger stick or blood draw can show you what your fasting glucose values are. Shoot for weight loss. Again, 90% of individuals with type 2 diabetes are also overweight or obese. Shoot for that 5 to 10% of body weight to start. Look at dietary changes. Cut back on those refined processed foods. Limit those saturated fats from animal foods. Add the fruits, the vegetables, the whole grains. Focus on your portion control and mindful eating techniques. And of course, get moving. Shoot for that 150 minutes per week between aerobic exercise and strength training. But importantly, remember that anything is better than nothing at all, and start somewhere. Thank you for joining me for this presentation, and please let me know if you have any questions. Best of luck to you always on your own individual wellness journey.